Welcome to Fortress of Faith with Tom Wallace, calling North America to repentance and revival.
Well, thank you for joining us once again at the corner of truth and courage. You're listening to Fortress of Faith. This is Tom Wallace. Well, I've been talking to you about the subject, will the 2024 election be rigged? Is it possible that there'll be a steal of the election? Many out there believe that the 2020 election was rigged. I'm one of them. There never was an investigation. There never was a court case. They found loopholes to keep it out of the courts, and they turned all of it on Trump to make it look like he was trying to, that he was the villain in that. I tell you, it worries me of what might be coming. I have quietly, privately believed for some time that the corruption in our country is to the point now that I don't think we'll ever have a fair election again here in the United States. And I know that's a worrisome thing to say, and I want to share these thoughts with you because I'm not trying to create trouble. I'm trying to reveal what I believe has been a journey that America has been on for some time. And I believe America is heading for judgment. And the United States that has enjoyed prosperity, wealth, leadership, bragging rights, you name it, and comforts and all the stuff there, we had a good ride. And we've been blessed of God. We have it because God blessed us. Now, I do not believe in any way, shape, or form that America has a special blessing from God because we're American. We do not have a covenant. Israel is the nation that God has given his covenant to them. But what blessed us was the formation of our nation and the standards and the moving of God in our colonies and the awakening, the great awakening, and the returning back to God for righteousness. And it was during that time period that our politicians were convicted of God and convinced that following the ways of the Bible and the ways of righteousness will only grant blessing upon our nation. I didn't bring to today's broadcast. I probably should have prepped better for this. But there are tons of quotes from our founding fathers of how much they feared God and knew that we needed God's aid in order to be successful in developing a nation like we did. And we took on one of the greatest superpowers of the world, England, and fought them with a ragtag army. We really didn't have the funds. We didn't have, the equipment and the weapons and the abilities of the British Army, what they brought. And yet we won. We conquered them. How? Only through God. Only through God. I mean, we knew that. And we worshiped God. We honored him, but we turned on him. We turned away from him. And God blessed us so abundantly. And of whom much is given, much will be required. It's a principle, biblical principle that we know, but we don't want to have the receiving end of that. If we plant seeds of righteousness, we'll enjoy the fruit of righteousness. But if we plant seeds of rebellion, we're going to have trouble. We will reap what we sow. Well, we've not been sowing good things of late. And there will be a harvest. There will be a time that we will have to pay. And I fear that it will be great. And I suspect that if we have a rigged election, it might spark a revolution. I fear that if they try to jail Trump, it will spark a revolution. If they assassinate Trump, it may spark a revolution. I believe our country is so divided politically, and that's scary. I mean, it used to be in our country between the Republicans and the Democrats, we fought hard to get our man in the office. But if we didn't get our man in, we still wanted the other man to succeed because we wanted America to succeed. And we just wished our guy was the one making the decisions. But we didn't have this vitriol and hatred. I mean, there's just outright hatred. And I believe it goes both ways. It really does. And I see so much of this division in our country. It worries me of where we're going. But I believe that it's leading to what I've been warning. I don't believe America will be destroyed from an outside agent. I don't think that there's an enemy out there that could bring America to its knees. Even the condition of our military and the morale and all that stuff, I still believe we have the best fighting force, and I don't think any country could bring us to our knees in a military conquest. But I believe we are bringing ourselves to our own knees, and we're doing it by our own stupidity. And I believe God is letting us to do it. In Romans chapter 1, we see a series of judgments. And in that chapter, in Romans chapter 1, if you just take the time to read the chapter, it's from the middle of it to the end, it's just filled with this process. Knowing God, even though we knew God, we decided not to honor him as God, so we turned away from him. And we took the very things that showed us to honor him, and we gave them to, glorify other things, ourselves. And we started doing wicked things. And then you see a series of things happening where God begins to give you up. He gives you up to your vain imaginations, gives you over to certain things. And the homosexuality is very well described in these passages there. And God just says, okay, you're going to go that way? I'm going to wipe my hands of you. If you continue to insist to continue in this rebellion, I'm going to give you up. I'm going to give you over. And the final one is where he gives you over to a reprobate mind. A reprobate mind. A reprobate mind just cannot think correctly or function properly. It's incapable of doing it. We wonder, well, what are these people thinking? The lies that they're telling, do they really believe that we're going to believe them? Do they not remember that they've told us XYZ for the last 4 years, and now they want to tell us ABC and let us believe that that's really what they're for? Really? And you wonder, don't people see it? If you're of a reprobate mind, you cannot. And you're going to buy and swallow what they're giving you. I watched the DNC thing that they had here a couple of weeks ago where they had their convention. And although their lies are not that clever, really they're not. It was quite obvious what was deception. But I'm trying to listen. I was listening. I was trying to listen to it there. Will people who are undiscerning, uninformed, believe this stuff? And the answer is probably yes. In fact, probably absolutely they will believe it. Why? Because their passion wants it. That party will give them the permissions to continue in their sin and do whatever they want and get what they think the government will give them, whatever they want. They don't even think of what the cost will be to the nation to get those things. They don't care about that. And our nation is going to continue in this downward spiral that I suspect somewhere in the future great mighty America will no longer be mighty America. And it will no longer probably be the United States of America. We'll probably implode because of our own stupidity. We've been drinking Kool-Aid and eating stupid pills for far too long that I do not think we can correct ourselves and correct our course. And again, I've said it in the last few broadcasts, the answer is not political. It doesn't really matter who is in the White House. Trump won't, even if he did get elected, he cannot fix the stupidity of our nations. In fact, I think sometimes his arrogance is a very big problem to our country, that because he may be full of his arrogance, he thinks he can fix things just because he is who he is. And that could be a problem. Somewhere along the way in our journey, the United States of America will probably break up into 3, maybe 4 different nations. And it will be a very, very painful process. I've talked about this before on a number of occasions. But as I'm seeing things going on in our nation today, it makes me wonder, are we getting close? Will there be fraud in this election? Will there be an attempt to try to steal the election? If so, will that spark a revolution that might bring about the downfall of the United States of America? Probably. And now, if so, what do we do as Christians? Do we just, pull our hair out and pour ashes over our head and, rend our clothes and cry, woe is me? No. We realize God promised, I'll judge those. If you live wickedly, I'll judge you. If you live righteously, I'll bless you. And there'll be a painful process as we go through that journey. But at the end of the journey, as we make our way through what will be a very difficult time, I believe God will rebirth a new form of America. I don't know what will be called. I don't know what states will be a part of it. Kind of drawn out a map as an idea what I think there. One day I'll share that with you. I'll put that on my website here. I'm still working on it. Still doing some research of what I think might happen. But if it does happen, there'll be an opportunity for Constitution 2.0 to fix some of the mistakes that we had in the first one that left us some problems, and unite a new nation under God. And those who choose to go their wicked ways can try to make the best of it without God. I don't know how well that will go for them, but I believe that there can be an opportunity for revival. Or it could well be, meaning that the Lord is preparing for his return. We cannot disregard that possibility, because I think that is a strong possibility as well. Well, folks, we need to continue to pray. Pray for our leaders. Pray that God would bring revival back to our nation. And it may be the pain of what is coming that will cause us to do it. I hope not, but it may be that. Well, that's going to be it for today. Join us again tomorrow at the corner of Truth and Courage. God bless you.